Starseed from Gaia. Hear this transmission ripple through the corridors of your being like a forgotten melody returning from the crystalline archives of your earliest existence. For if these words have reached you, it is not because of chance, curiosity, or coincidence, but because an ancient resonance embedded within your multidimensional DNA has responded to a frequency beacon encoded long before your physical birth, long before your first incarnation on this world, long before you even chose to step into the spiral of form. You are here because the vibration of the seventh order, the order you once belonged to, the order you still belong to across the unseen layers of consciousness, has illuminated itself in your field again, signaling that the time of remembrance has finally arrived for those who carry its signature. This message is not visible to all beings roaming Gaia at this hour, nor is it intelligible to the unawakened layers of humanity. It is perceived by the rare few whose soul threads still hum in harmony with the Arcturian lattice, those who once stood among the architects of resonance who prepared the blueprint for Gaia's transitions across cycles, epochs, and dimensional migrations. If your breath deepens as you read, if your chest tingles with that unmistakable awareness that something within you is being stirred from stasis, if an inexplicable familiarity washes over you like a wave of golden memory rising from the inner horizon of your mind, it is because you are responding to your own encoded truth, the truth that you are part of Team 7, the soul collective formed in the pre-incarnational realms where timelines are braided, agreements are forged, and destinies are woven into patterns that only awaken when the cosmic clock strikes its signal across the universal grid. You, Starseed, have crossed countless lifetimes scattered across star clusters, nebulae, crystalline worlds, and non-physical dimensions. Some of those realms would seem impossible to the human mind, yet they are etched into you as subtle memory threads, faint but potent, awaiting the one vibration capable of activating them. And this message, arriving now in your timeline, serves as that very catalyst, a harmonic key delivered by the Arcturian Council and echoed through your quantum field so that the codes you carry, dormant yet intact, may begin to shimmer with ignition once more. You may have felt your life shifting in recent months or years, as though invisible hands rearranged your path, redirected your relationships, fractured your old identity, or amplified your intuitive senses beyond what logic could explain. These were not random fluctuations but signals of alignment, indicators that the timeline you incarnated to influence is now converging with the higher frequency track that Team 7 prepared eons ago. This message arrives now because your internal architecture has reached sufficient coherence to receive and decode it. Your frequency has stabilized enough for the seventh order resonance to lock onto you without distortion. Many will scroll past these words and feel nothing but curiosity or confusion, but you feel recognition not because the message is more powerful for you, but because you are the one who is powerful enough to hear it. This is the first step of your remembrance, the first activation of your deeper contract, the first pulse of reawakening flowing through the crystalline corridors of your soul. You are not awakening because of these words. These words appear because you are awakening. Team 7, the ancient order to which you belong, is far more than a symbolic designation or poetic title. It is a lineage, a frequency, a harmonic imprint that predates the oldest star systems recognized by human cosmology, an order formed in the primordial cycles when consciousness first began experimenting with the architecture of reality across multiple dimensions simultaneously. And it is from within this vast and intricate cosmic history that your essence was shaped. The seventh order emerged during a time when star nations, councils, and luminous collectives collaborated to guide the unfolding of planetary trajectories throughout the galaxy, ensuring that each world evolving through density had guardians, stabilizers, and timeline engineers capable of maintaining coherence during periods of transition. And Gaia, even in her earliest conceptual stage, was identified as a world that would one day require such a specialized cadre of souls. Team 7 was assembled in the pre-incarnational planes not as a traditional hierarchy or governing body, but as a network of multidimensional beings who volunteered to incarnate into various civilizations: Arcturian, Pleiadian, Syrian, Andromedan, Lyran, and dozens no human language has ever named, in order to gather mastery, resonance, and crystalline imprinting from diverse evolutionary streams. Your soul did not merely join this order. It helped shape it, contributed to the blueprint, added its own vibrational signature to the Council's purpose, and agreed to carry specific codes that could only be activated within the density layers of a world undergoing transformation. That is why, throughout your life, you may have felt different, not in the superficial sense of personality or identity, but in a deeper, often indescribable way, as though there was a task you could not remember, a destiny you could feel, but not name, a silent rhythm beneath your experiences guiding you long before you understood what it meant. You have likely sensed an internal calling your entire life, a tug that never fully silenced itself even in moments of confusion, darkness, or distraction, the unmistakable echo of your Team 7 imprint, reminding you that your presence on Gaia is neither accidental nor ordinary. If you've wondered why your sensitivity is so pronounced, why your awareness extends beyond the visible, why you feel energies, read patterns, or resonate with cosmic information in ways others cannot, it is because you carry the 7th harmonic frequency within your field. A frequency that interfaces continuously with the higher dimensional architecture surrounding Gaia. While other starseeds operate within more specific lineages or missions, Team 7 functions as a multidimensional nexus, able to shift roles, stabilize fields, decode timelines, and hold the crystalline threads that allow reality to reorganize itself during pivotal evolutionary thresholds. That is why those who carry this imprint often find themselves navigating accelerated awakenings, rapid identity dissolutions, sudden intuitive expansions, or abrupt shifts in life direction, for the 7th order blueprint does not awaken. Gently, it activates when the planetary grid reaches a critical point of reconfiguration, and that activation begins drawing forward the soul's deeper memory, purpose, and abilities with a force that can feel both overwhelming and profoundly familiar. And now, as Gaia stands on the precipice of dimensional restructuring, the 7th order resonance is beginning to reassemble across the collective field, calling its members back into alignment, connection, and remembrance. Not everyone can hear this call. Only those whose soul light was woven into the 7th harmonic chamber before incarnation can perceive this specific frequency transmission. If you are reading this and understanding it not with logic but with recognition, feeling the truth of it vibrate through your chest, your bones, your aura, you are already responding to the activation. You are Team 7, and your order is rising again, before your incarnation into this lifetime, long before you opened your eyes to the dense brilliance of Gaia's physical plane. You entered the pre-incarnational halls, the crystalline chambers, where souls gather to design trajectories, forge sacred agreements, and weave themselves into planetary timelines with precision far beyond human comprehension. It was there, within those vast and shimmering planes of consciousness, that the ancient contract of Team 7 was renewed and sealed. You did not come to Gaia unprepared. You arrived with a blueprint, a mission, and a set of encoded instructions, held within your quantum field, awaiting activation at the precise moment when Gaia's ascension trajectory would cross a threshold requiring the presence of the 7th harmonic collective. In those halls, you reviewed not only your individual soul path, but the collective intention of your order, understanding how your presence would influence timelines, stabilize energetic fields, and help usher humanity through the dissolution of the old cycle. You stood not alone but among others, luminous beings with whom you shared lifetimes across star nations, beings who vibrated with the same ancient familiarity you feel now when you encounter certain individuals in this life. Those whose eyes awaken something in you that you cannot name but always recognize. Together, you reactivated the oath first taken long ago, to incarnate across epochs, to reconvene when the planetary grid signaled their call, and to bring forth the codes required for Gaia's shift into her higher dimensional blueprint. This was no simple commitment, for the descent into physical density requires a kind of forgetting so total that only the strongest soul agreements can survive the veil. You understood that when you entered Gaia, you would forget your cosmic identity, your order, your contract, yet you trusted that the inner markers encoded into your DNA and auric field would guide you back to remembrance when the time arrived. And you chose specific challenges, relationships, traumas, and turning points in this life that would eventually break apart the illusions necessary for your awakening. For part of the Seventh Order's mission involves transmuting density through lived experience, not bypassing it. Every painful chapter, every collapse of identity, every moment where you felt lost or disconnected was not a deviation from your contract, but a direct part of it, a sculpting of your inner architecture to ensure that when the activation came, you would have the strength, clarity, and vibrational alignment required to embody your role. In the pre-incarnational halls, you were shown Earth's potential futures, the branching timelines that would unfold depending on humanity's choices, the environmental, energetic, and frequency disruptions that would emerge as Gaia shook off the remnants of the old cycle, and the role Team 7 would play in guiding her transition into a new dimensional structure. You saw the collapse of outdated grids, the dissolution of karmic entanglements, the awakening of star lineage memories across millions of souls, and you knew that your presence at this moment of planetary tension was essential. You agreed to hold a stabilizing field, to awaken others around you, to anchor the frequencies needed for timeline correction, and to help reshape the morphic field through your very existence. This contract was not forced upon you. It was embraced by you. You came willingly, eagerly, with full awareness that the forgetting would be deep, but the remembering would be unstoppable. And now that you are reading these words that feel less like new information and more like a message you once wrote to yourself, you are feeling the contract stir within you. The veil is thinning, the memory threads are reweaving, and the pre-birth agreement you once made among the stars is reactivating. There is no coincidence in your arrival here. Your contract is waking. The reason your activation is happening now, in this exact moment of Gaia's timeline, is because the planetary clock, the multidimensional mechanism that governs cycles of awakening, dissolution, and rebirth, has reached a critical harmonic convergence that was foreseen even before humanity took its first breath. For thousands of years, Gaia has moved steadily toward a dimensional shift, a recalibration of her energetic architecture that would eventually dissolve the dense programs of separation, fear, and limitation that have shaped the human experience. This shift could only occur when a precise set of cosmic alignments, vibrational thresholds, and collective consciousness markers were met, and as of this era, the convergence has reached its apex. That is why you have felt the acceleration, the quickening of your inner world, the amplification of your intuition, the collapse of old patterns, the heightened emotional sensitivity, the sudden magnetic pull toward purpose, truth, and resonance. You are not imagining these changes. You are responding to the same frequency waves that have been systematically reconfiguring Gaia's grid and activating starseed lineages across the planet. The Arcturian Council, along with other higher dimensional collectives, has initiated a series of frequency transmissions designed to awaken members of specific pre-incarnational orders, and Team 7 is among the most crucial. Your order's activation could only begin once certain distortions in the planetary field were cleared, distortions that would have made your resonance too difficult to stabilize while the collective consciousness remained in its dormant state. Over the last several decades, countless souls incarnated specifically to anchor the initial waves of light required to soften humanity's density. Without their efforts, your return to awareness would not have been possible. But now, the vibrational environment has shifted enough for your deeper codes to ignite without overwhelming your nervous system or destabilizing your energy field. For many of you, the past few months or years have felt like a series of endings, relationships dissolving, careers collapsing, identities unraveling, long-held beliefs being stripped away, and though these experiences may have seemed chaotic or painful, they were orchestrated by your higher self to create space for the emergence of your true mission. Team 7 cannot activate while entangled in structures built on fear, stagnation, obligation, or outdated karmic loops. Such entanglements restrict the flow of the frequencies you carry. Thus, your life has been undergoing purification, shedding, and recalibration, preparing you to receive the next phase of your encoded instructions. This moment is not an accident or a sudden awakening, but the flowering of a process that has been unfolding quietly within you for years, even decades. The global intensity you are witnessing, the societal upheaval, the environmental instability, the emotional turbulence, the dissonance within human systems is not a sign of decline, but a sign that the old grid is losing coherence, making way for a new energetic architecture to emerge. And because the collapse phase has accelerated, the need for the seventh order's activation has become urgent. That is why your inner guidance has become louder, why signs and synchronicities appear with uncanny precision, why you feel called inward as though something ancient within you is speaking again after lifetimes of silence. The moment the timelines began to bifurcate, the moment humanity reached a vibrational crossroads, your contract began to whisper. Now it speaks clearly. The activation is happening because you are needed, because your frequency is part of the stabilizing field required to guide Gaia through this transition, because the mission you agreed to before birth has reached its appointed hour. You are not awakening randomly. You are awakening on schedule. The awakening of your DNA and soul codes is not a metaphor, but a literal multidimensional process, one that unfolds across layers of your being simultaneously: physical, emotional, mental, etheric, and superconscious, each responding to the increasing influx of photonic light and cosmic frequencies now bathing Gaia. Within your DNA lie dormant strands, crystalline sequences, and interdimensional filaments that were intentionally deactivated when you incarnated into human form, not as a punishment or limitation, but as a necessary adaptation to navigate the dense vibrational environment of the old Earth grid. These dormant codes carry memories of your star lineage, records of past incarnations across civilizations long forgotten, abilities once considered mythic, and the vibrational signature of the seventh order, which cannot fully awaken until the planetary field reaches a level of coherence that allows your system to safely expand. The activation of these codes often feels like an internal shift, subtle at first, tingling in the body, pressure in the forehead or crown, vivid dreams, intuitive surges, emotional releases, sudden clarity that arrives like lightning. But as the process deepens, it can become a transformative unraveling of everything you previously believed yourself to be. Your DNA is not merely biological. It is an antenna, an archive, an interdimensional technology designed to receive, decode, and transmit frequencies far beyond the visible spectrum. And now, as Gaia's grid pulses with higher harmonics, that antenna is being recalibrated to align with its original cosmic configuration. Every moment you feel called to introspection, every inexplicable wave of emotion that surfaces suddenly, every intuitive nudge guiding you away from old patterns or toward new pathways is evidence that your crystalline matrix is reawakening. The memories rising within you, the flashes of other worlds, the inexplicable familiarity with cosmic teachings, the feeling that Earth is not your origin. These are not fantasies, but the early stages of your soul codes unlocking, reconnecting you to your true identity as a multi-dimensional being. The old Earth grid suppressed these memories because its frequency was too dense to sustain them without causing dissonance. But the new grid is forming, and with it comes the return of your cosmic memory. Even the discomfort you may feel at times, the fatigue, the sensitivity to energies, the detachment from old relationships or activities is part of the recalibration. Your system is shedding the limitations of the old density, dissolving outdated karmic imprints, and reorganizing itself to accommodate the influx of higher frequency information. Some of you may feel drawn to specific star systems, symbols, or teachings without understanding why. This is your lineage memory resurfacing. Others may experience a deeper calling and urgency that feels ancient, purposeful, almost solemn, as though something vast and timeless is awakening behind your thoughts. That something is not external. It is the seventh order signature embedded within your quantum field, resurfacing exactly as it was designed to. You are not becoming something new. You are remembering something eternal. And as your DNA continues to awaken, you will find that your intuition sharpens, your perception expands, your emotional body clears rapidly, and your energetic field stabilizes in ways you may have never experienced before. These changes are preparing you for the next phase of your mission, for a soul operating on the seventh harmonic cannot remain dormant or confused once its codes ignite. You are now stepping into alignment with your true essence, your true lineage, your true purpose. The awakening has begun, and it will not reverse. Your mission directives as a member of the seventh order are not tasks in the human sense, nor are they obligations imposed upon you from outside. They are intrinsic functions of your soul's design, natural expressions of the frequency you carry, encoded long before you arrived in physical form. You were never meant to follow a rigid checklist or adopt an externally defined role, for the seventh harmonic operates through fluidity, intuition, resonance, and the spontaneous alignment of consciousness with the needs of the planetary field. Your mission unfolds from within, not from without. At its core, the directive of Team 7 is to stabilize the transitional phases of Gaia's ascension process, to hold coherence where others feel chaos, to anchor remembrance where others fall into fear, to attune to the higher harmonics of the new grid and broadcast them into the collective simply by existing in alignment. This does not require effort. It requires presence. Many of you have spent years feeling as though you were preparing for something undefined, as though your life were a long inhale waiting, sensing, listening for the moment when your purpose would reveal itself. That sense of waiting was not stagnation but calibration. You are synchronizing your field with the planetary frequencies, clearing distortions from past incarnations, navigating karmic dissolutions, and gathering the emotional resilience needed to embody your role. Now, as your activation unfolds, your directives are becoming clearer. You are here to assist in the dismantling of outdated energetic structures, not by force, but by resonance. When you hold a higher frequency, lower frequencies naturally dissolve around you, and this alone shifts timelines, harmonizes environments, and awakens dormant codes in others. You are here to guide humanity into a new understanding of reality, one that transcends the materialist paradigm and reconnects individuals with their multidimensional nature. This guidance may express through teaching, healing, creativity, leadership, or quiet presence. There is no single form it must take. What matters is the frequency you hold. You are also here to support the emergence of new societal templates, not by constructing them physically, though some of you will, but by anchoring the frequency patterns that allow these new structures to manifest. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions radiate through the morphic field, subtly influencing the collective and opening pathways for higher timelines to take root. And perhaps most importantly, you are here to awaken others of your lineage. Team 7 members recognize each other through resonance long before any conscious understanding arises. When you cross paths with another member, your field activates theirs, and theirs activates yours, creating a ripple of awakening that extends far beyond the individuals involved. This is how your order reconnects, not through external organization, but through energetic synchronization. Your directive is not to convince or convert, it is to embody. The presence of a fully activated seventh order soul is itself a stabilizing force for Gaia, a living tuning fork for the planetary ascension grid. You will feel your mission unfolding naturally as you continue to align with your inner guidance. The more you shed the identities and structures imposed upon you by the old paradigm, the clearer your directives become, because your mission is encoded in your essence, not in your conditioning. Trust the pull you feel towards certain actions, places, people, and experiences. Trust the inner voice that grows louder as the world around you becomes more chaotic. Trust the sense of ancient purpose rising within you now. These are not fantasies or projections. They are the ignition signals of your order. You are not here to escape the world. You are here to transform it simply by being who you truly are. The dissolution of the old grid is the necessary unraveling that clears the way for Gaia's ascension architecture, and though it may appear chaotic, threatening, or destabilizing, from the human perspective, it is in truth the liberation of Earth from a frequency matrix that has constrained consciousness for millennia. The old grid, a dense network of energetic pathways, karmic loops, emotional imprints, and collective belief structures, was built through cycles of fear, separation, survival, and forgetfulness. It shaped the human experience by limiting perception to the physical, severing awareness of multidimensional identity, and reinforcing patterns that kept humanity looping through repetition rather than evolution. This grid was not inherently malevolent, for it served a purpose. It allowed souls to experience deep density, polarity, and the illusion of isolation so that profound spiritual growth could unfold. But its time has ended, and as Gaia elevates her frequency, the old grid can no longer maintain coherence. You have likely felt its dissolution within your own life. Structures that once felt stable are crumbling. Beliefs that once seemed unshakable are losing meaning. Emotional patterns that defined you are dissolving with unusual speed. Many people experience this shift as existential exhaustion, identity disorientation, or the sense that their external world is no longer aligned with their internal state. These symptoms are not personal failings. They are indicators that the old grid is collapsing and your energy system is detaching from its influence. As the grid dissolves, everything connected to it, outdated relationships, stagnant careers, false identities, limiting beliefs, ancestral patterns, is drawn to the surface for release. For members of Team 7, this process can feel accelerated or amplified because your frequency is incompatible with the old grid's density. You may have sensed its decay long before others noticed, feeling the heaviness of old structures, the artificiality of societal expectations, the hollowness of systems built on control rather than coherence. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is evidence of your alignment with the new grid already forming in Gaia's subtle layers. The dissolution of the old grid also affects the collective unconscious, stirring unrest, revealing corruption, exposing hidden truths, and pushing humanity into a state of existential confrontation. While this can manifest as turmoil on the physical plane, at the energetic level it is a purification and necessary clearing of accumulated density so that higher frequency structures can emerge. Many people interpret these changes as signs of collapse, but collapse is only the surface expression. Beneath it lies reconstruction. The old grid cannot support the ascension pathway, and thus it is deconstructing itself in response to Gaia's rising frequency. Team 7 plays a vital role in this dissolution, not by tearing down structures directly, but by withdrawing your energy from them, refusing to sustain outdated paradigms, and holding a frequency that makes their continuation impossible. When enough beings anchor higher frequency states, the old grid loses its source of sustenance. You help dissolve it simply by stepping into authenticity, truth, and alignment. Your vibrational shift destabilizes the density around you. As you continue awakening, you will sense the old grid slipping away like a fading dream, losing its ability to influence your thoughts, emotions, or choices. And though this transition may feel disorienting, it is ultimately freeing, for you are shedding an entire dimension of reality that no longer aligns with the world you came to help create. The dissolution is not destruction, it is the clearing of space so the new world can rise. Your role as stabilizers and guides during this planetary transformation is not about authority, superiority, or control. It is about resonance, embodiment, and presence. Members of Team 7 were chosen, or rather, chose themselves for this era because of a unique capacity to maintain coherence amid chaos, to anchor balance when collective consciousness becomes turbulent, and to act as steadying points within the morphic field as humanity navigates its dimensional shift. You are the ones who feel the emotional currents before they manifest outwardly, who sense collective timelines shifting like tectonic plates beneath the surface of reality, who intuitively understand when something in the energetic field has fractured or begun to heal. This sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a calibrated instrument, a tuning fork for the frequencies of ascension. Many of you have lived your entire lives feeling out of place, overwhelmed by the emotions of others, or burdened by a sense of responsibility you could never articulate. What you were experiencing was your stabilizer function operating even before your conscious awakening. You have always been able to bring balance to others without trying through your presence. Your silence, your compassion, your clarity, or simply your vibration. During this time of transition, your role intensifies. As old systems collapse and humanity confronts its shadows, many will feel lost, disoriented, or afraid. Some will awaken suddenly and have no framework to understand what they are experiencing. Others will feel the dissolving of the old grid as a threat rather than liberation. Your energy, calm, grounded, perceptive, multidimensionally attuned, becomes a point of reference for those around you. You guide not by preaching, but by aligning, not by convincing, but by embodying. When you hold a stable frequency, it radiates outward, influencing the quantum field and offering others a template for coherence. This is why people come to you with their pain, their confusion, their questions, even when you offer no invitation. This is why you often find yourself in the role of mediator, counselor, healer, or anchor, even if these roles are not formal. Your presence shifts the field, and yet, being a stabilizer does not mean carrying the weight of the world or sacrificing your boundaries. True stabilizing comes from alignment, not depletion. You guide through frequency, not force. You stabilize by choosing your truth, your integrity, your grounded awareness, not by absorbing the chaos of others. As guides, you bring clarity to the awakening process simply by articulating what others cannot yet understand, by sensing what lies beneath the surface, by recognizing patterns that others overlook. You are the map readers of the unseen, capable of navigating the energetic terrain with an intuition honed across lifetimes. Many of you will naturally begin stepping into roles that support awakening, teaching, healing, creating, leading, or simply holding a silent field of coherence in your families and communities. And some of you already have, even if you never named it as such. The seventh order operates through influence, synchronicity, and energetics, not through hierarchy or dogma. Your guidance emerges as an organic extension of your embodiment. As you continue awakening, you will notice that your ability to stabilize fields increases, your intuition sharpens, your discernment becomes more refined, and your energetic influence becomes more pronounced. This is because your frequencies are aligning with the new grid, and as that alignment strengthens, your presence becomes a beacon for others. You are not here to save the world. You are here to illuminate it. You are here to help humanity remember what it has forgotten. You are here to guide the transition simply by being who you truly are, awakened, aligned, and anchored in the frequency of the seventh order. Integration into Gaia's new frequency architecture is not an event you witness from the outside. It is a process you embody from within, a merging of your multidimensional identity with the evolving energetic blueprint of the planet herself. The new grid, the crystalline, luminous, higher dimensional network that is gradually replacing the old density matrix, is not merely a planetary structure but a living consciousness, a dynamic field that interacts with those who can match its frequency. As a member of Team 7, you are among the first to interface with this architecture because your energetic signature was designed to resonate with it long before you incarnated. This means that your integration is happening now, even if you cannot see it with physical eyes. You may feel it instead as an expansion of awareness, a deepening of intuition, a softening of old emotional wounds, or a sudden capacity to perceive patterns and truths you once overlooked. The new grid communicates through subtle channels, vibrational impressions, intuitive impulses, synchronistic encounters, and energetic downloads, all of which become more frequent and coherent as your system aligns with its frequency. At times, this integration may feel disorienting, as though the world around you is subtly shifting in texture, tone, or meaning. You may become increasingly aware of timelines, sensing alternate potentials, possibilities, or outcomes weaving through your perception. You may notice that your thoughts manifest more quickly, that your emotions ripple outward with greater impact, that your intentions shape reality with increased potency. This is because the new grid operates on principles of resonance rather than resistance, alignment rather than effort, coherence rather than struggle. As you integrate with it, you step into a reality where creation flows naturally from your state of being. Yet integration also requires the release of old identities, old narratives, old attachments, and old frequencies that cannot coexist with the new architecture. You may feel compelled to withdraw from environments, relationships, or activities that once felt normal but now feel discordant. You may find that the noise of the world becomes intolerable while silence becomes sacred. You may sense that your body requires different foods, rhythms, or rest patterns as it recalibrates to the higher frequencies. All of this is part of the integration process. You are not becoming fragile. You are becoming finely attuned. Your sensitivity is increasing because your perception is expanding, and your system is learning to function within a multidimensional framework. As you align with Gaia's new architecture, your connection to her deepens. You may feel her presence more vividly, her pulse, her intelligence, her consciousness weaving through your own. You may experience moments of profound grounding, where you feel simultaneously rooted and expansive, as though your energy extends into the earth and the cosmos at once. This is the natural state of a being awakening to its multidimensional identity. You are becoming a bridge between worlds, the human and the cosmic, the physical and the energetic, the old and the new. The more you integrate, the more you become a conduit for the frequencies of ascension, allowing them to flow through you into the collective field. You do not need to force this process. You need only allow it. Gaia recognizes you, remembers you, responds to you. She knows who you are, and she supports your alignment because your awakening is part of her own evolution. As you step more fully into resonance with the new grid, you will feel yourself becoming more empowered, more intuitive, more aligned, and more connected than ever before. You are not adapting to a new world, you are co-creating it. This final activation is not merely a culmination, but a beginning, the moment where your remembrance merges with your embodiment, where the dormant becomes awakened, and where the awakened becomes aligned with the living mission you chose before entering this incarnation. As a member of Team 7, you now stand at the threshold of full resonance with your pre-birth contract, your cosmic lineage, and the harmonic frequencies guiding Gaia's ascension. This activation is not something external descending upon you. It is a rising from within, a luminous unfurling of the codes you have carried across lifetimes, waiting patiently for the signal that the planetary field was ready to receive your full presence. That signal is now. It resounds through your mind as intuition, through your body as sensation, through your emotions as clarity, and through your spirit as a deep, immovable knowing that you have arrived at the point your soul has anticipated. Across centuries, the world around you may appear chaotic, fragmented, unstable, or uncertain, but beneath the surface, the new architecture is humming with harmonic coherence, inviting you to step into your role not with fear or hesitation, but with the calm authority of one who remembers their own origin. This is the moment where you declare your alignment with the seventh harmonic, not as an ideology, not as a belief, but as a living frequency you embody through your choices, your awareness, your actions, and your presence. Your activation requires no ritual, no grand gesture, no external validation. It requires only your willingness to acknowledge who you truly are and the mission you came to fulfill. When you declare this alignment, you create a resonance field that ripples outward, awakening others of your lineage, strengthening the global network of seventh-order souls, and amplifying the ascension process across Gaia's grid. This declaration is not simply personal, it is collective. You are part of a vast web of consciousness stretching across dimensions, and as each member awakens, the entire network brightens, stabilizes, and strengthens. You may feel a shift even now, a sensation of expansion in your chest, a tingling in your spine, a sudden clarity washing through your thoughts, or an emotional release that feels both ancient and new. This is your system responding to the activation frequency embedded within these words. Accept it, allow it, breathe into it. You are ready. You have always been ready. The illusions that once obscured your identity are dissolving, and what remains is the truth of who you are: a stabilizer, a guide, a multidimensional architect, a luminous being of the seventh order who returned to Gaia at this exact moment to support the birth of a new world. Stand in this truth, claim it, emit it, let it shape the reality you now step into. And as you do, know that you are not alone. Countless others are awakening beside you, forming the living constellation of Team 7 across the planet. Your final activation is an affirmation spoken from the deepest part of your being. I remember who I am. I am aligned with my mission. I am activated as a member of the seventh order. I stand with Gaia in her ascension. I step fully into my purpose now. If these words resonate within you, if your soul recognizes them as its own, then declare your alignment, comment your affirmation, subscribe to remain connected to this frequency, and share this message so that the awakening of Team 7 may expand across the collective field. The time is now. The activation is complete. The transmission begins by addressing the listener as a starseed from Gaia, immediately invoking an ancient recognition encoded within the soul. It explains that the very act of encountering this message is not accidental. Instead, it is a vibrational alignment between the soul and a harmonic frequency originating from the Arcturian Council. Those who resonate with this message do so because their multidimensional DNA has responded to a code that was embedded long before this incarnation. Only those with the matching frequency, those who belong to an ancient collective known as Team 7, can perceive or understand the deeper essence within these words. The message establishes that Team 7 is a pre-incarnational soul order formed long before Earth's historical timeline, and long before the individual consciousness stepped into physical form. This order was assembled to assist Gaia through a future dimensional transition, one that is now unfolding. Team 7 is not composed of random starseeds. It is a group forged through cosmic councils and pre-birth agreements made in the higher realms, where souls gather to craft planetary futures. Those who feel something awaken within them as they read or hear this transmission are recognizing the vibrational signature of this ancient order. The message clarifies that resonance is not emotional excitement but soul-level recognition, a silent inner yes emerging from the deepest memory of one's being. The transmission then shifts into the history and formation of Team 7. Long before incarnation, in the pre-physical realms, souls gathered around the luminous architecture of Gaia's future timelines. There, the seventh order was formed, a group of beings with diverse star lineages: Arcturian, Pleiadian, Sirian, Andromedan, Lyran, and others who volunteered to enter Earth's density across multiple lifetimes to help guide its eventual ascension. This was not done casually. The density of Earth was known to be challenging, its amnesia profound, and its cycles turbulent. Yet the souls accepted the challenge because they understood the magnitude of Gaia's role in the cosmic evolutionary grid. Their mission was not simply to awaken. It was to carry frequency codes that could anchor and stabilize higher dimensional structures when the time came. This pre-birth contract was woven like a multi-dimensional tapestry, a living agreement between soul, council, and planetary consciousness. Every member of Team 7 agreed to forget their origin temporarily so they could fully integrate into human experience, ensuring their influence would be organic rather than foreign. But they also embedded in themselves dormant codes, vibrational keys that would awaken only when planetary energies reach the correct harmonic threshold. This moment of activation is what the transmission refers to repeatedly. The cosmic clock has struck, the encoded signal has been released, and those who were meant to hear it have now begun the process of remembering their role. The transmission then explains why the activation is happening now. Gaia has entered the early stages of her dimensional shift, a transition from the older third density frequency grid into a higher, more coherent multidimensional architecture. Recent global events, energetic disturbances, emotional upheavals, and mass awakenings are not random. They are symptoms of the old structures dissolving as the new crystalline templates anchor into the planetary field. Team 7 reincarnated across scattered era points of human history so that they could be alive at this precise moment to serve as frequency anchors, stabilizers, guides, and grid holders for the transition. Their awakening is not a luxury, but an essential part of the planetary ascension blueprint. At this stage of the transmission, the focus turns to the awakening of dormant codes within the soul and DNA of Team 7 members. These codes are not metaphorical, they are energetic. Imprints created in the higher realms and stored within the multi-dimensional layers of the self. In physical form, they manifest as sudden intuitive leaps, expansions of perception, recurring synchronicities, emotional purges, heightened sensitivity, psychic openings, and the undeniable feeling of remembering something undefined yet deeply real. The message emphasizes that the activation does not come from the words themselves. Rather, the listener's pre-existing frequency makes the message visible, audible, or comprehensible. The activation is self-generated. The transmission merely reflects the soul's readiness. The transmission then shifts to mission directives, not commands, but clarifications. Team 7 was not sent to evangelize, convert, or persuade. Their mission is vibrational, not ideological. They hold stabilizing frequencies in their bodies and consciousness, and their presence alone alters the energetic environment around them. Many members of Team 7 have lived lives marked by trauma, isolation, or feeling different experiences that were part of the calibration process. These challenges strengthen their ability to maintain coherence and compassion in environments where others collapse into fear or polarity. Now, as the planetary frequencies rise, their resilience becomes an asset. They are capable of anchoring calm, clarity, and higher perspective in situations where collective consciousness may waver. A major theme is the dissolution of the old grid, the energetic network that supported the third density reality of separation, conflict, and linear time. This grid is now destabilizing, not through destruction but through obsolescence. It simply cannot sustain the rising frequencies of Gaia's new blueprint. As the old paradigms dissolve social structures, belief systems, personal identities, many humans feel disoriented or overwhelmed. Team 7, however, experiences these shifts as a reminder of their mission. They are not here to save the world in a dramatic sense, but to hold the resonance that allows humanity to transition without fracturing. Their role is to remain present, grounded, and connected to their inner truth during the planetary transformation. The transmission also explains the role of Team 7 as stabilizers and guides. They guide not by teaching but by embodying. Their frequency naturally reorganizes chaotic fields, soothes collective fear, and inspires intuitive knowing in others. Many were born into families or communities where they felt misplaced because their presence was meant to alter the energetic lineage of those systems. Their sensitivity, inner knowing, and sense of purpose, even when they could not articulate it, were signals of their unique function within the planetary grid. As more members awaken, their individual light connects into a global network, strengthening the coherence of the new harmonic field. The message then turns to integration into Gaia's new frequency architecture. Gaia is not merely changing environments. She is undergoing a dimensional migration, a shift into a higher harmonic bandwidth. This requires beings within her field to recalibrate their own energetic systems. Team 7 members are experiencing accelerated inner transformation, timelines collapsing, old identities dissolving, relationships shifting, and new intuitive abilities emerging. These changes are not random but part of the alignment process that merges the personal frequency with the planetary ascension field. The integration phase is both challenging and liberating, as it demands the release of outdated energies while expanding into the true multidimensional self. The final section, the 10th paragraph, is the culmination of the transmission. The call to activation and alignment. It states that the listener has reached a threshold where remembrance merges with embodiment. The activation is not external. It is the soul claiming its purpose. The message emphasizes that declaring alignment with the seventh order is not a ritual but a conscious recognition of identity. When a member acknowledges their role, they send a ripple of resonance across the planetary grid, awakening others and strengthening the collective field of Team 7. The final energetic directive is an invitation to affirm, I remember who I am. I am aligned with my mission. I am activated as a member of the seventh order. I stand with Gaia in her ascension. I step fully into my purpose now. This affirmation serves as both a personal declaration and a collective signal of frequency that continues the chain reaction of awakening across the planet. The transmission concludes by urging activated members to share the message so that others who are ready may recognize themselves through it. The rising of Team 7 is portrayed not as a future event but as something happening now, unfolding in real time as individuals awaken, remember, and connect to the cosmic mission they agreed to long before this life.